my channel. So today we're going to be doing a silicone mould. So I've had some requests of how I do them. So this is what I'm going to be making a mould of. These are nail brush holders. So I wanted to cast these into a mould so that I could make my own style, my own design of them. So that's what we're going to be making. So I'll just show you my products, what I have. So I'm using this silicone moulding rubber from DWR Plastics. It's 2 parts, and you get this one, which is the catalyst, which you mix some of that in, which I'll show you later. I've got a hot glue gun with the glue sticks. I've got a Tupperware which I've cut the bottom off so that I can see all the way through it, and I have some transfer tape just so that I have something sticky to work on, which you'll all see why, and a measuring jug, and that's to mix the silicone in. So firstly, I've just cut out enough transfer tape to fit the Tupperware dish, so I'm just peeling off the backing, and I'm going to just stick this onto my working area. I've just got a bit of bin liner, and just protects my workspace, and I would just stick that Tupperware onto that sticky transfer tape, and I just make sure that's securely stuck down. And then with the hot glue gun, you have to go all the way around and hot glue all the way around the edges and ensure that you've capped it all the way around. And you'll see later that I still had some gaps because I still got some leakage, but it's to prevent anything leaking out. And what you can do is, after you've poured it, if you do see anything leaking, you can always go back in and add more. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just going around and hot gluing it, and I have to keep putting in more glue sticks in because it's amazing how much you go through. And I try to make sure I've got a nice thick covering. So just make sure that if you see any gaps, you fill those in. Then now I'll get the bits that I'm going to be casting, and I will place those onto that sticky tape that's inside, and that's why I've cut that opening so that you've got something to work through. And you want to place them a good space apart so that, you know, the silicone doesn't rip in between your casting, because you'll see here I tried to do this bottom one sideways, but actually it was going to be too close to the edges, which would mean that the silicone there would be quite thin. So you see, like that, it's too thin to the, you know, to the sides. So in the end I just did them all vertically, and then just make sure that they're properly stuck down because you don't want them to float. So next I'll show you how I mix my silicone. So in here I've got the silicone already poured in. So this is the DWR, and I'll just show you the label. So I've poured 200 grams, and you have to put 3% now of the catalyst. So I've just marked on the jug how much I was going to pour. So here's a little measuring cup that I use. It's marked up to 5, but I needed 6 grams, so I was just going to go slightly over the line. So with that catalyst, I'm just going to pour in and just pour it slightly over the line. That was my 3%. And I think I went slightly over, so I was just pouring it back in. And then literally just pour that straight into your silicone. I use a wooden spoon, and then I literally stir. And you want to stir it till you can see it's all thoroughly mixed in, and it doesn't take long at all to mix up. You'll know when it's mixed because it'll all be just a nice colour. You'll see it's all mixed in well, and you'll be able to tell by the consistency. It would just be it will thicken up as it's mixed in well. So I don't even cut out any part of my mixing, I've just literally sped it up. So you'll see that I actually don't even mix it for that long, and it mixes in really quickly, and that's it. That's mixed in. It's like quite gloopy, that's how it feels. So just putting my tray back where I've got my little mould ready to pour, and I'm literally going to start pouring in, and I sort of pour from a height, and because I was pouring from a height, I actually realised as I'm editing this video that I actually cover up most of the camera as I'm doing it, so you'll see this bit, but then I start covering the camera, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm literally just pouring all that in, and all you want to do is just make sure that the silicone just covers the items that you're casting, basically. So my 200 grams, I didn't quite need all of it, but as it was there and I had nothing else to do with it, I just poured it all in, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm just scraping out the excess. No point wasting it and keeping it in the jug. And that's it. That's how simple it is. And what they say is, depending how much you make and how much you pour, depends how quick it takes to dry. But just to be on the safe side, I will leave this now for 24 hours to dry. You'll see after a few hours, if you touch it, it will feel dry, but just to be on the safe side, leave it for 24, and then you can't go wrong. And then I'm just literally drizzling all my last little bits of silicone in, just getting it, scraping it out of the jug. And then you can see I've got some bubbles there. So what I will do is I will go over with my hot air gun, and I will just lightly go over and blow those bubbles away, just to get rid of those. And they just gently pop. And then that's it, just leave that for 24 hours. We'll come back and we'll take it out. So here's the next day, and you can see that I had a leakage, and that's actually quite a good way to test when you know it's set, rather than making finger dents in the actual mould. And all you want to do is just peel it away from the transfer tape, peel off the Tupperware, and because I had that spillage it was just a bit awkward, so you're just peeling that off. And then I actually have to, because of this spillage, I didn't want to rip it and damage what I just made, so I'm going to get some scissors and just trim along this bit here and just cut that away. And then it pulls off nicely. Then what you want to do is pop out the little bits you made. There you go, and there you can see the grooves from the nail brush holder. And then on this last one you can see some of the silicone is almost gone over. So what I will do is I will go over with the scissors, and you can actually use some finer scissors and just trim that away, and then we'll go back over that and we'll just trim that up and tidy it up so it's easier to pour. but you can see it all looks nice and neat inside. It's got all the detail in there. And although I've let this set now for 24 hours, I will not use resin in it straight away. I would at least want to leave it another 24 hours before I used it. Otherwise, I've seen in other videos people have used them straight away and the resin just wouldn't come out. So I will be in this video using it, but it was a couple of days later, and we'll see how it comes out. So I'm just tidying it up. That's your own preference, how tidy you want it to be. But yeah, there it is. That's how to make a silicone mould. So here's when I'm going to be making something out of it. So I've just mixed some bronze mica powder in my resin. And I don't know what was up with me these couple of days filming, but I seem to always have my hand in front of the camera. But we're not here to see me doing the actual resin, so I'll just sped this bit up. But I'm just pouring the resin into my new mould, and then we'll be back to see the results. Because it was quite a thin little gap, I was doing it quite slowly and using a toothpick to guide it out, but I still had a bit of spillage. But it turns out alright in the end, you will soon see. But if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think and if you did find it helpful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Time to demould. Let's get them out and see how they turn out. And actually, I love the way they turn out. I loved the bronze effect. So yeah, here are some resin pieces out of a mould I made myself. Really pleased with how they came out. What do you think? So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.